One could argue that I shouldn't be reviewing Sonic & Knuckles as a standalone game, that it's meant to be played with Sonic 3 locked on. However, this is how I first experienced the game. This was a pack-in with my Sega Genesis that I got new as a kid, and so that is how I'm going to review it. Sonic & Knuckles was released during the holiday season of 1994. In many ways, it is the second half of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which was released before the entire game could be completed. The game introduces Knuckles into the Sonic canon, continuing the tradition of adding new characters to each Sonic release. He is also a playable character. Knuckles differs from Sonic and Tails in that he can smash through certain blocks, can glide, and also climb walls. Hardcore Sonic fans will also note his acceleration is a touch slower and he can't jump quite as high as Sonic. The wall climbing and block breaking means some of the levels in this game will actually play differently depending on the character selected. Mushroom Hill opens Sonic & Knuckles with the familiar lushness found in most early Sonic levels. There are multiple layers of parallax scrolling, plenty of robots to defeat, and absolutely massive levels to explore, or race through, depending on your preference. Like in Sonic 3, there are fewer zones than what was normally in a Sonic game, yet it still took me an hour and 20 minutes to reach the 8th act with Knuckles. Like I said, these levels are huge. The levels somehow feel even bigger than they did in Sonic 3. The second act of Sandopolis Zone took me over 9 minutes to get through, which is sort of insane. The level design is good compared to other platformers, but I still feel like they lack the charm of the earlier titles. I do like the art design though. There is a lot of detail here, and the designers did a good job of working around the limited color palette available. Each zone has 2 acts to complete, and both end with a battle against Dr. Robotnik or one of his many machines. The bosses have fairly easy patterns that shouldn't be too hard to recognize, but still require some serious precision and quick reactions. Overall, they hold up well against the rest of the games in the series. Other than the cartridge port on top of the Sonic & Knuckles cartridge, this isn't a revolutionary game. It's an evolutionary title that builds upon the tried and true Sonic formula. Finding a giant ring hidden in the stages will take you to the Blue Sphere bonus stage, just like Sonic 3, and completing them earns you Chaos Emeralds. As I've stated in the past, these are not my favorite, and I find them a bit tedious. If you pass a checkpoint with at least 20 rings, you'll be taken to one of 2 new bonus minigames. The first is a rotating slot machine that takes the rotating playfield from the very first game and puts a slot machine from Casino Night Zone right in the middle. The goal is to try and farm rings for as long as possible. It's a nice nod to the past. The second minigame is a strange orb-filled pinball machine. You launch yourself from orb to orb in hopes of collecting power-ups and rings before the bottom of the map catches up with you. Nothing amazing, but a nice distraction. While playing as Sonic is fine, and all of his trademark moves from Sonic 3 are here, I almost always select Knuckles. His gliding and wall climbing really breathe some fresh air into the series as you attack the levels in different ways. Another thing I enjoyed is that there are no water levels. I never cared for these and always thought it slowed the pace of the past games down to a crawl. Somehow I found Sonic & Knuckles to be more fun than Sonic 3. The level layouts seem more fleshed out, which could very well be attributed to the additional time given to complete this final chapter of the series. Of course, the music is excellent, and it seems Sonic Team and Sega Technical Institute had no problems getting awesome, full-sounding tunes out of the Genesis hardware. It's hard to find many faults in Sonic & Knuckles. It's not perfect, and I feel it falls short of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. I've always found those 2 games to be among the best 16-bit platformers ever. They feature truly memorable music, fantastic art design, and are supremely fun. Sonic & Knuckles doesn't quite capture the magic of the first games, but it's close. 4 out of 5.